We are the DFPN. Always question the answers.
No Gimmicks Podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, it's the time to move around. No Gimmicks Podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring, this is the time for the No Gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State divine. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state is mine, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks Podcast here on the DFPN. And boy, we got a loaded one tonight. We normally do these on Thursdays, but it's Monday. We had a big announcement made from MPX's own, the fallen goddess, the forever always champion herself. She made a monumental announcement. And just the weekend that passed and the weekend that's coming, we got a full plate tonight. And joining me to talk about all this is the choice, Matt Andrews. And I'm going to coin you now, Matt. I'm going to say the voice of North Texas wrestling.
Oh,
I'm going to call it.
Oh, man. It's so crazy. I don't ever like blowing up myself, ever. But like being the ring announcer of two of the biggest or the most prolific wrestling promotions in North Texas. I mean, like I just feel like I want to be seen more. I want to do more, right? And with more promotions happening every freaking month, it seems like, which is a great thing. I love it. Don't get me wrong. We're like North Texas and the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they're not near oversaturation just yet. You know, sometimes I feel like places like Austin, San Antonio, Houston, like there's a lot of love to go around down there. But up here, you know, I think there's a lot of opportunity for still more shows to run, right?
Right. And I appreciate you saying that, because you look at the landscape, North Texas itself, it's kind of like an island almost, you know.
Sure.
You have all these talents that go around, and I pay attention. You see a lot of talents go around south. There's a lot of promotions to work with down south, so you see them exchange a lot of talent. Up here, we're getting there, but you could tell like there's room for more, which is why the announcement that was made today was I really appreciated it.
Well, sure. And I mean, like, even going back to just a little bit before Fight Win Survive over the weekend, WFAA, the Tech ABC affiliate around here, putting up a great article, just kind of detailing only eight of the promotions that are running around here in DFW, and there's still at least 3 or 4 more that they didn't get to list, which is fine. You know, I mean, I know some of those people are really salty about it, which I get it. A lot of pride in that, but you know, that just goes to show like it's a good time to be a wrestling fan in Texas.
It is, and we talked about this before. The fan base, specifically in North Texas, how passionate they are about the product. So, yeah, I do appreciate them mapping out and giving fans, you know, putting a space on there where fans can go look for wrestling. But I'm with you. I do realize that there's some promotions out there that need to be spotlighted. So yeah, man, I like where the growth is starting to come into play. I love it. It's a really good time right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just keeps getting bigger and better and all that stuff. And I don't know where you want to start with all the topics and all that stuff, but it seems like the big thing on everybody's mind right now is the announcement from Athena regarding MPX and the all women show.
Let's start right there because it's fresh, and this thing went viral almost instantly. Yeah. She made the announcement that there's going to be a regular women's show coming from MPX. And that's really monumental. And we were talking about this offline, and I'd mentioned like we hadn't seen this Mission Pro Wrestling. Shout out to them. They're on hiatus right now. So
Yes.
I do realize how important having an all women show was. How many people, I was surprised at how many people from Mission Pro like went to the WWE or AEW, just specifically working there and the opportunities they got. And I was kind of sad when they went on hiatus because they were rolling, they were picking up steam. But
They really were.
This announcement kind of opens up that door again, you know. And then having Athena leading the charge with the amount of respect that she has and the amount of respect that women in the industry have for her. We've seen people. I like to point this out. You've seen people like Abaddon, Nyla Rose,
Yep.
Vert Vixen. They've all come to MPX before, but
Yes.
like having them on a regular rotation, like that's really, really big. And then having people that you can showcase, because Riza, the MPX Women's Champions, on this card, right? Their first card.
That's a huge deal.
That's a very huge deal. So you're having all of these names on this card, and then it's highlighted by the fact that you do have a women's champion. And by the way, the weekly shows that MPX gets right now, you have another shot for some very good stories involving women, which is something that we haven't seen before. Anyone,
Yes.
an all woman story. So that in its I was so appreciative of that announcement, and I was so excited because I want to see what this is like, really.
Yeah. So it just occurred to me while you were talking, right? Mission Pro was run by Thunder Rosa.
Oh,
And who's Athena's current feud with right now in Ring of Honor? I'm not saying that it's for the plot, but it certainly works, doesn't it?
yes. Yes.
I'm just throwing that. It's probably gasoline on a fire, but really, so just real quick, something to like from my almost like day in the life of kind of stuff almost, right? You know, I obviously saw Palmer, Athena's husband, right, put out the article from Fightful. Obviously, Fightful is one of the most well-respected, wrestling journalism sites around, right?
Yep.
And I saw, or I don't even remember what it was that I did. No, all I did was retweet that. That's all I did. I reposted it, and I said, here's the official announcement, or here's this from Athena, and then I mentioned go to mpxwrestling.com. We're on Twitch, that kind of thing. And then Sean Ross Sapp reposted mine. And I was like, holy crap. I need to change my handle, because it still had me under my old baseball writing stuff.
Right.
And it was kind of like a hybrid of the baseball writing stuff and the announcer stuff. And I'm like, holy crap, like 500 people just decided to view this, and they're going to wonder what this baseball guy is doing talking about MPX. And so, like, just for the good of not just my brand, but also for MPX, so people understand, like, hey, we can go to this one guy who's probably too connected to his socials right now. We can go to him for questions about the show, about MPX, about any of that. And I'm happy to field it. So ended up changing my X handle to NTX Wrestle Voice, and just it's been taken up, like the amount of attention, and Sean even said it like a couple of hours later. He said like the amount of buzz that this show has been getting has
crazy,
been astronomical.
It's crazy.
And it just puts that many more eyes. And we talked about this last week or last time we did it. It puts so many more eyes on MPX, so many more eyes on a product that people don't know exists. And this is just good. It's good for North Texas wrestling. All around.
It's very good. It's very good. And I when I shared it, I said that having a show like this in North Texas, in specifically this region, that the wrestling history is rich. It is a very rich history, and I really do believe that North Texas does very good weekly shows. It always has a history of it, and I'm really excited for people to tune into this because they get to see what we all get to attend and watch. You know, we're all a part of, and I'm really excited for people to get to see what the best weekly wrestling show in North Texas looks like. Very much.
Yeah, and of course, me, I'm passionate about MPX, passionate about all the wrestling and stuff, but MPX, of course, has a special place in my heart. And I'm very curious to see what the Twitch subscriptions were
yes.
before the announcement and what they are afterwards. And just for anybody who's tuning in based off of what I posted on social saying that we're about to go live, I may have misspoken. I don't know. We don't know 100% for sure if it's going to be on Twitch. I would be almost 99% sure that it's going to be streaming in some form or fashion. I just don't know if it's on Twitch. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, it could be. It could be any. I mean, the Revolver show next week is going to be on Triller, right?
Right.
Title Match is another network that could also be in the picture, right? It could be the Fight Network, right? So there's a whole bunch of ones. I assumed it was Twitch because it's MPX. That's not necessarily the case. So just putting that out there, it would be dumb if it weren't streamed, I think. But as of right now, I just don't know exactly where it's going to be streamed.
Okay. No, that's good because I know Title Match is very popular too.
Yes.
Specifically with wrestling fans. So that would be a good option. Me selfishly, because I am subscribed to Twitch.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well,
I'd like to see it on Twitch.
Of course, all the addicts are subscribed to it on Twitch. But hopefully, what I've been telling people is that, we'll have more streaming details, but subscribe on Twitch anyway, just to see if that's where it is. That way, you're already subscribed. So
absolutely, man.
Hopefully, that becomes a thing, and people can see the best weekly wrestling show in Texas, including Fight, Win, Survive.
Right.
What a segue.
Right. That's a good segue because let's go to last week because we know we have the final set.
Yes.
We know. Oh man, this past show was crazy. This past show was really crazy.
It was one of the best nights of wrestling I can recall being a part of. It was so good.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
We got a comment. Matthew Palmer says it'll be streamed on ... Is
this like hashtag breaking news?
I know.
It'll be streamed on what's that? The DFPN?
We'll be paying attention.
Is that?
We'll be paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hey, CJ, welcome to the show. Welcome, Matt, to the show. And while you're listening, thank you for bringing this to the public, man. It's been good. It's been amazing seeing this happen. So, congratulations, kudos.
Yeah,
but man,
see where it goes. Yeah, this last weekend, absolutely crazy. What a great show.
Absolutely.
I mean, I had, and I usually do have some misgivings about any kind of show where every match is a gimmick. I don't mind the occasional gimmick match. I don't mind the occasional hardcore match. All that stuff is fine. I tend to find it a little funky when every single match on the card has a stipulation or something like that.
Right,
and
right.
Maybe that's some trauma being relived from WWE when, you remember when WWE had the pay-per-views that was Fatal 4-Way and it was like, that's all it was Fatal 4-Ways, or Hell in a Cell when there were like 3 Hell in a Cell matches or something. That's like, okay, you lose the appeal, you lose the allure of what these gimmick matches mean. But I think we put so many. I think what MPX was able to do was up the ante, obviously, by having what was at stake be at stake. But they also didn't make it like complete bloodbaths here and there, right? You had your one blood match with the bunkhouse brawl.
Yep. Loved that too, by the way.
Oh, that was great. And of course, it's another platform for Michael Schaefer, who is very easily the best big man, in North Texas wrestling, if not ever, right?
Yeah, he says all of Texas.
Right.
I'm almost inclined to believe him right now.
He's in a class all his own.
Yeah, most
And of course,
definitely.
and Rex Maury, I mean, you know you have your Dmitry Alexandrovs, you've got your Wesley Cranes, you've got your Tommy Deans, you've got Killa Cash, you've got Sky de la Hermosa as kind of your
Yep.
standard old guard and
Yep.
all that stuff, and now you've got Rex Maury and somebody like Matty Ide and like the new guard of hardcore and deathmatch wrestling and stuff, and like it's great, and they can show that it tells a story. It doesn't just have to be senseless tubes going to the face or anything, right?
Right. Right.
That's what I loved about it. I know
Yeah.
CJ just had a comment there.
Yeah, he said, wasn't all weapons and straps, which was great. It broke up the monotony of the match types. And I agree with him there. The
Yeah.
different types of matches, specifically the bunkhouse brawl, and he said he pointed at something too, because we're normally used to House Sagan walking out with the Hawaiian shirts and
Yeah.
wrestling, and then out comes Schaefer, and CJ said it best. He says half stacks Calhoun in this match. I liked it, and then I liked how he moved in this match. Man, it was crazy, and he barely survived this too.
No kidding. From my vantage point, that Hurricane Rana off the top through the door.
Oh man,
I thought Schaefer went like head down straight
face
into the
first. Yeah, I
cockpit.
did too.
And then I didn't see until the other camera angle from Conspiracy showing that he took a face plant right through the door, which I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a safer way to land it. But I was really afraid that he tombstoned himself into the mat like that. It was
No,
rough,
we
but it
were
was
in the chat.
great.
We were in the chat like, oh man, because the angle that he hit on Twitch, I was like, oh whoa. I was like, oh
Yeah,
that
right.
that looked rough. but
yeah,
he made it.
great showing by both guys there.
Very much.
And I liked too, because that happened right after the other hardcore match. That happened
Yep.
after the Four Corners of Pain match, and you're thinking, okay, another hardcore match. But they did such a good job of making those two matches so unique. It didn't feel
Wasn't
like
your
you were just
norm.
watching another hardcore match.
Right. It wasn't your norm. It wasn't your norm. That was very, very good. I do want to go with Aaron Eagle because we haven't seen him in a while.
Oh yeah.
And him and Delin Cavens
Yes.
opening up the show. I thought that was a really good way to open up that show, and very surprised too, because I thought Cavens had that. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
the hero comes along.
The hero comes along, right? And anytime Cavens gets to open a show, he's bringing the high energy, and that's exactly what you want out of somebody starting the show. It was a great showing, great match, and kudos to both for putting it out there. Love seeing the hero. The hero is
Absolutely
very good, and he's timeless. He's one of the old guard, and the fact that he's extended his stay and he's been able to still be prolific and still put on these phenomenal matches and look like he hasn't aged, like it's ridiculous.
At all. Yeah. But that was a great way to open up that show. And us in the chat, if I could have pictured us giving a standing ovation, I think that's what we did.
Sure.
So
yeah.
It was awesome. That was an awesome way to open it. But let's talk about the moment that I didn't personally think was gonna happen, because set 6 was on fire.
Oh yeah.
This past weekend.
Yeah.
But we get to Brick Savage, Demo Diamond. It looked like Demo had done it again, but
It did.
At the end of that match, we have a brand new MPX champion. Demo, if you're watching, it's nothing personal, but Brick got their come up. They got their comeuppance, and the way they walked out of that arena, it was like they put MPX on notice after doing that. What are your thoughts on this match?
I had no idea that was coming. That was 100% a shock.
Yes.
I was expecting shenanigans. I was
Same.
expecting somebody to come out. I was expecting another foot on the ropes. I was expecting something else. But for Brick to get that win clean speaks volumes, I think, about how much faith that MPX has in Brick sticking around, defending it on a regular basis, and being kind of a new face of up here in North Texas. Because Brick's already known down south, right? Brick's already
Yeah.
known in the
Yeah.
Austin area and all of that. So it's what's Palmer saying?
He said Half Stacks Calhoun was his dad's favorite wrestler growing up
Oh,
as a kid.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Brick has a following, in Austin, right? We see Brick going down
Yep.
there to like Baracho
Baracha
and
Pro. Shout
to
out to
North Texas
Baracha.
Wrestling, right? And to all these other places. But up here, I mean, yes, everybody knows who Brick is, but the respect on Brick's name, I think, needs to span the entire state.
I agree with that. I agree
So,
with that.
and no offense to Demo, and Demo had a phenomenal run. He had an over 1 year run, and if you count the one before he lost it to Sky at that Revolver show, it's a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily.
I was looking at my memories today and it came up that this was, I think today was the day that Demo became a champion, or a couple of days after. So yeah,
Right.
right on par with the year.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that post and I was like, damn, man, Demo's had one hell of a year. He's had a phenomenal year when you look back at it from that show to now. I was like, the growth in Demo has been insane. And I told him this too. It was like the growth has been insane. And he's still got time on the clock. And that's scary.
So much time. Yeah.
That's scary.
I go back to when I was, doing my first announcing for MPX, and Demo was there, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he obviously got the MPX championship that he won it, and I was like, okay, I get it. Hot new face, all that stuff, and with the backing of Jamie Aller and that whole feud with Tommy Becker and all that happened. But kudos to not just the pairing with Jamie Aller, but also, like you said, the development the Demo had to his character and how he progressed in his matches and how he worked constantly to get better. And he still works every day to get better. It doesn't even have to be in the ring. He just works to get better. And like you said, he's got so much ahead of him. This is not the last we're going to see of Demo anywhere.
At all.
And
At
he's got the future is limitless for him.
Very much. I say that to say Brick Savage beating that version of Demo was absolutely, and the way he did it was absolutely, it was absolutely monumental. That's nothing short of monumental, because we've talked about Demo on this show. He's always had a plan. He's always been a step ahead. Brick walked in that building Saturday night and they just flat out said, screw your plans. I'm going to become champion tonight. Yeah. And they did that. And Palmer just said it too. Brick being in a Revolver Texas tournament as the MPX champion is pretty big too.
It 100% is.
I don't know how you don't look at Brick walking into this tournament specifically as a champion and not have him somewhere as a favorite in this tournament.
No, he immediately catapults up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Not just the champion status, but they are, I believe, the biggest competitor in this tournament. So, with that, the only other person I could consider, wait, he's here. The only other person I could consider being a favorite is Matthew Palmer, obviously. He's, but no, everybody in this tournament could be considered favorites. And they just announced participant number 8, Damo McCullough, right?
They did, yeah.
It's a stacked field, and it's a stacked field on top of a stacked field. And what it means for MPX is that so much top talent comes through this area.
Very much. Very much. Matthew says politics.
I don't know what you're talking about. Politics is happening out in California. We don't do politics down here. But it again, it brings light to MPX, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Especially for me, again, being so invested in MPX as I am, I love seeing the amount of attention that this promotion is going to be getting over the next several months.
Yeah.
Including in August. Another segue. Look at that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let's talk about it. August, big shows.
Yeah, August 9th, which is great, right? That's the that should be the first weekend in August, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. And Athena making the announcement, of course, that we'll be getting that all-women show, and already announcing a stack of competitors, right? So already with the MPX Women's Champion Reza Clark, already with the Queen of the Indies, High End, Abaddon was already announced, Masha Slamovich, right?
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
huge. And then my personal favorite out of whoever's been announced so far, Vert Vixen, and Vert's a Texas mainstay, right, out of the Austin area, and the last time I was at MPX, like before I did the whole announcing thing and I was doing my whole director of operations dealio thing with Frankie, Vert was backstage, and just the nicest, most humble and down to earth person. And I don't forget those interactions, and to see where she's gone to so far, with still so much ahead of her as well, right? And it's not
very much,
it's not like Vert is a new person or anything like that, but like she's got her skins on the wall, and there's room on the wall for a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
And very excited to see Vert back. Last time I saw her was at the Revolver show that we had at the Epic, and she faced off against Hyatt, and it was like
that match was incredible. Absolutely, it was incredible.
So we're extraordinarily fortunate to be able to welcome people, the talent of Vert Vixen and Hyan and Abaddon and all of them to the MPX Event Center. And it just means that there's going to be so many more announced. We have 2 months. This is
to build this thing. That's awesome though. And I like the title, Run the World.
And Who Runs the World, right?
Yep. And for that being the theme of it, man, the field already that they announced, because when I saw Masha Slamovich, I was like, oh man, there's
no playing.
This is gonna be big. This is gonna be big. So seeing someone in the caliber of Masha, and then you add in Vert. Last time I saw Vert was in Vegas at a Tokyo Joshi show.
Sure.
And just seeing her, I really wanted a her versus Viva Van match, but like seeing them in the ring together, I was like, man, that's incredible. But yeah, seeing her consistently in the PWI rankings, and just seeing her work and doing her thing, man, it's awesome. Last time I saw her at MPX, I think it was her versus Nyla Rose that night. I think that's the last time I seen her. But yeah, every time I see her and meet her, she's always one of the nicest people ever, man. So I'm really excited to see her. Another person I'm excited to see too is Abaddon.
Yes. Yeah. I have not had the fortune of being in the presence of Abaddon, knowing how many times they have come through MPX. I've never had the opportunity to be able to be in their presence, but I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see who else gets announced, because knowing how much amazing talent is now available to be a part of this, I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. Because the doors this thing's opening up, the possibilities, the matches I'm already having in my head. I'm like, bro, that's gonna be insane.
Well, I'm just thinking of people that could just be announced. Like, we don't even know the matches. We have no clue what any of the matches are going to be. But
right.
let's run down the list of quote unquote free agents that can make an appearance here, right? I mean, obviously we would think Maya World is going to be here, right?
Yep.
Dallas
She already
Texans.
tweeted it.
Right, absolutely. You got to be in on it, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking somebody from down south in Houston, ROW's promotion, Kaya Dream,
Yep.
Moneybird, Monica Monroe, right?
Ladybird.
Ladybird, yes,
Yeah.
Moneybird is the tag team,
The tag team. Yeah.
which that could also be a thing. I'm thinking back to the people that were in VIP's Queen's Gambit, show that was earlier, right?
Good call.
Mercedes Martinez could be a part of this.
Good call.
Yeah, I mean, somebody like Tessa could be a part of this. Which, I mean, I know that would be a little controversial and whatnot.
You know what?
Still.
I've said this on another podcast, but I'll say it here too. I met Tessa, and the interaction I had with Tessa, I disregard all the internet shit. I really do. And I judged her off of my interaction with her, and my interaction with Tessa Blanchard is she's cool as fuck.
Yeah. There you go.
He said no.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Palmer's probably shared more locker rooms on that front. So, but thinking about like who we were supposed to have at the Purge last year, we were supposed to have Maxine Paler. Like I'm just saying, there's so many, and like think about who just got released from WWE.
Yeah, you got
who
a lot of
has also
names.
come through MPX. Shotzi. You could have potentially Elena Black come through. You could have Dakota Kai come through, or I'm sorry, Charlie, right? I'm just saying.
You got my mind spinning.
There's so many possibilities.
Now I'm thinking, how big is this gonna be? They're gonna have to call the fire department. There's gonna be too many people, bro.
Oh, careful, please don't. Please don't. There are fire codes in that building. It can only hold so many. Let's not call the fire department on that, please.
No, that's good though, because the possibilities. Just seeing the women that are already announced, I'm like, man, the possibilities I'm looking at, it's already a good night.
Oh yeah,
and I think it's just 5 women that got announced already, and I'm like, it's already a good night. It's already good.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw people on X already saying like, this is already a stacked card. It's just fine.
Very much.
When you can have a stacked card and just have 5 people on it already, like that,
it's already good. Yeah, look.
Yeah,
here's
and
a
comment. Huh? Oh.
Here's a comment that sounds like I need to go through to an end. You absolutely should.
Oh, absolutely.
You absolutely really should.
And the great thing is you never have to guess when we're going to be because we're live every single Saturday night.
Yep.
So
haven't missed except for one, and that one was a very good reason.
The WrestleMania one, yes. Yeah. But you know what? You'll find us. You'll find us every Saturday. So,
absolutely.
We're always very active on socials, and apparently I am now going to be very active on socials. So I'll try to keep people in the loop on everything that happens and all that.
That's a good problem to have.
It is kind of interesting. Haven't been on that. Haven't been on the influencer dealios ever. So the amount of social media attention and work that has to go into keeping up with the posts and all that stuff is it'll be interesting. Let's see. But I'm hoping to keep people informed on the stuff that's coming to MPX, North Texas Wrestling, just all over. So,
absolutely, man. And for anybody that doesn't know, like he does these MPX minutes. If you follow him on TikTok, he does the MPX minutes. Yeah, keeps people very informed through those too. So give him a follow over on TikTok. Search him up.
Wow, appreciate that. Yes.
I do appreciate those. I really do, because sometimes I'll be like missing information. I know something's coming. Let me look at this real quick.
Right. That was my goal, right? For people that can't necessarily come out to the show or weren't able to watch on Twitch. I mean, at least you've got a little briefer before you go into the next show. If you're going to attend it and you like, oh crap, what the heck is going on? At least you can watch that. And okay, now I'm relatively well informed on what I'm looking for as I'm at this show. So, and speaking of the immense reach of this particular women's show, I had somebody reach out to me and ask about training, which again, the MPX is a training school for
Yep.
professional wrestling. And so I was able to impact their life and tell them that, yes, you can go ahead and do this. Email metroplexwrestling@gmail.com and go follow your dreams. Go be a wrestler.
Absolutely, man.
Don't piss off Palmer, though. So
That's
Palmer
awesome,
had
man.
Palmer had a very active weekend in getting thrown through a cage and
I saw
throwing
this.
Rich Swann off of one. So
I saw this. And then so he posted that. And
yeah.
then he said the MPX roster's on notice.
Oh yes. And like you'll notice, Palmer was conspicuously not there through the Fight Win Survive
Yes.
matches. And so coming out of the finals, who knows what that's going to mean? Yes, the eyeballs. Please put the eyeballs up there. That is very appropriate for one Matthew Palmer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Who
yeah.
knows?
So let's go to the finals of
Yes.
Fight Win Survive. What are we looking forward to this weekend?
So we got Team Green and Team Purple, which that's great. That puts out my outfit for this Saturday already. I know exactly what I'm wearing. But we've got some very interesting oppositions in the finals here, right? Right off the bat, you can see the Sons of Mayhem are on opposite teams.
Yep.
But on top of that as well, the Scorn are on opposite teams as well. Gabe Wilder and Tommy Prince. And Gabe actually turned his back on, well, not turned his back, but, basically screwed Tommy Prince out of a victory this past Saturday in order to get the green team into the finals, which afterwards they hugged, they made up, they said, you would have done the same thing. Sure, absolutely. But like, wrestlers remember those things, So I'd be very interested to see if it's in the cards that Tommy and Gabe end up fighting each other this weekend. Same thing with the Sons of Mayhem.
Yep.
You've also got, I believe, on the green team, Phil Shark and JoJo and Baby D, Kari Wright.
Yep.
Will also be on that team. I've spoken with JoJo this past weekend. Apparently, it's not just in and out that is on the line. I heard something about Texas Day Brazil being a possibility if the green team ends up winning. Look at that. I didn't realize JoJo knew what that was, but we'll see how things turn out. It's a very interesting field. On the other side, the purple side, you've got Brada Kaimi, obviously Tommy Prince, Red Chambers. Who am I missing off of that field? There's a lot of names.
There is a lot of names. Hold on.
I'm going to feel bad not knowing it. They'll probably lambast me.
No, let them live. Let them live. So you got Sagan, Red Chambers,
Sagan and Schaefer.
Yep.
Yeah, House Sagan all on one side, which
that's kind of unfair. I meant to say that. That's kind of unfair.
It is. It is very much so, especially when Caleb and Tatum were not part of that. But you can see the two strongest members of House Sagan, obviously, on the same page and in the Fight Win Survive tournament. Knowing also that Brick Savage is now the MPX champion, now you start thinking about the possibilities of who Brick's opponents could be. And knowing that essentially the winning team is all going to be number one contenders or all, next in lines for the MPX championship. And so you start thinking about Savage and Schaefer. Savage and
they
Sagan.
have history.
I'm just saying, there's a lot there. I mean, if you go the other way,
I didn't even think of that.
Savage and Baby D. Like, think about that, right? Savage and Wilder. There's so many possibilities for how this could go.
The stakes are crazy now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't all have to happen in one night, right? It's just whoever the winning team
Right.
is. We get to look forward to that over the next several weeks. Um, so a lot of good action about to come forward for MPX, just based off of the results of this tournament.
Yeah, both teams, there's threats on both sides. And man, I'm looking at one team like, bro, if they win,
Yeah,
if they win, oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure Brick doesn't care one way or another.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but I'm looking at this lineup and I'm like, bro, the line's gonna be crazy.
What are
No
you
matter
thinking?
where you go, no matter where you go from next week, that line's
Yep.
gonna be crazy.
Yep. Yep. And it's good. We've got the finals this week, and then it's got a buffer with the revolver tournament. So it kind of gives everybody a chance to reset that and then come into a new wave of MPX through July with all of these new and intriguing storylines. Like, like where does Demo go? Who faces
Right.
Brick first? What becomes of the team that ends up losing? What happens to the Sons of Mayhem who end up being on opposite sides? What happens to the Scorn? Like how does all of this play out? There's so much that can branch off of all of this,
Right. Right.
and
And
that's how we keep you hooked.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. That's the most important, that's the most intriguing part of all this. It's like you don't know where this is gonna go. So it's worth staying engaged for. Palmer says, what about me in the cage? We were just saying how nice you are at it. That's all.
Oh yeah. You were an absolute natural. Looked like you knew how to open the cage very nicely. Looked like you knew how to get through it.
You
Step in.
guided people away from the cage.
Yes, yeah, very calm, nice way to just get somebody away from the cage, warning them of the dangers of the
Right.
cage. It's very nice.
Very,
Um,
very stunning visuals, if you will.
yes, whether that was Rich Swan or that oddly familiar cameraman that was up there, you were just ushering them away from the dangers of the cage. So, well played, Palmer. Well played.
Well played. Well played. And he said this summer is gonna be nuts. I agree.
I'm
It's
so
gonna be a crazy summer,
Yeah.
very crazy summer. And Risa Bean said, I'm
Uh-huh.
just waiting for Palmer or the powers that be to book my homie so I can manage him too. Don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. Should I know who that is? I feel bad.
Should
I
we
have
know?
I have a feeling that name's about to drop in the chat. I'm just saying that's usually how that goes. But no, this summer, everything starting from where May was and all of that, all the way through August. And don't forget, we have the purge coming up at some point.
I was just thinking about that.
Like this could be one of probably the biggest summer in MPX most recent history, right? There's so much happening, and I don't just mean storyline wise. We're talking the Revolver show. We're talking, Who Runs the World. We're talking all that. Like it's massive. There's so much at stake and so many eyes to be on MPX.
Palm says he doesn't book MPX.
Yeah.
She said, just a hint, dirty. I'm lost still.
Yeah,
You lost me even more.
Hey, I'm not a booker either. So
me neither. In case you're wondering, I'm
so
just a show host. That's it.
Right, and I'm just a ring announcer. But so that's that's all the great stuff that we get to look forward to this whole week. So or this whole month, this whole summer.
Yeah. But I think next week is going to be a linchpin to the summer anyway. So
yeah, I can't wait to come talk to you about everything that comes out of Fight Win Survive, and then we can start putting together all of these scenarios and do our whole fantasy booking thing for
absolutely. I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this. And shout out to the chat, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, and shout out to the chat that tuned in this past weekend. It's been really fun chatting during the shows and gauging. We had a lot of questions that got asked in the chat. People wanted to know like what was the match types. whatever questions they had. There were people in the chat that could answer it. There was a good time. It was a very good time on top of a good show. So
Sure. Yeah. I'm glad that that's starting more and more over to be a thing.
yeah,
So I'm very excited to see more of this. I mean, obviously, I want to encourage everybody to come out to a show in person.
yep,
Like the live energy is like no other.
yep.
But I mean, is for the people that can't actually come to the shows in person, having the Twitch stream as a viable option is great. And the fact that you guys can all get together and talk about it while it's in there is really great. So
Absolutely, man.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, parting shots, what you got?
Party shots. Stay tuned to MPXWrestling.com. Front row is sold out for the Revolver Show. So time to get your tickets in for
Second
row,
row's going
general
quick
admission.
too.
Yep. Tickets are already flying off the shelf for Fight Win Survive this weekend. So we're excited to see the turnout for that. I was really glad to see such a packed house this past Saturday. That bodes well. Shows there's a lot of interest in this tournament and how everything is going to shake out. And then, of course, stay tuned, of course, for Who Runs the World.
Very good stuff coming, man. Very good stuff coming. Look at CJ. He said my parting shot is that Demo is a bum. That is
I don't know about
lucky
a
he's
bum.
not here.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about him when he's not here. I don't know if I call Demo a bum. I call Demo maybe not the most ethically sound of anybody in the locker room, but a bum, I don't believe so. The man puts in hours.
Tremendous work.
Yes.
Tremendous work. That CJ's being a heel. He's a heel at heart.
I thought that was my job. So yeah, we'll do this again next week, I'm sure.
Hey, absolutely, man. So more to come. I know we'll have more to talk about next week as we set up the path forward. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you too, Matt, for
Yeah, no, I appreciate the flexibility. I appreciate being able to be around this. And also, you guys might just want to keep an eye on MPX's socials for stuff happening on random Thursdays, like they did this past Thursday.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes. Absolutely. Who debuted? Somebody debuted.
Zarena, the goddess of chaos.
Very good match.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really good.
Very good match.
Yeah. You're talking the pre-show match? Oh no, you're talking the one on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, the one on Twitch.
Zarena, the goddess of chaos, and then we also had another masked fellow there, Custo Service, which what a unique gimmick that was. That's
yeah.
But you know what? It was fun. It was a weird kind of fun, and I think wrestling needs more of that.
Absolutely, man.
More Mr. Iguana types. That's what
Yep. Make it original. Look, oh wow, look at that. Somebody tuned in. CJ said 5 stars.
5 stars for Custo. Oh my gosh. Gonna take off. Yeah, I was gonna say we leave a 5-star review for Custo. That's great.
Yep. But yeah, one more before we get out of here. I would want to shout out somebody here too, because she does phenomenal photos and she's in the chat.
Oh, hey,
Laura Pulver.
Yeah.
She says so much is going on, she can't keep up all the chants people made out of Custo. But yeah,
oh, yes.
Give her a follow. I'm gonna say she's North Texas photographer.
Sure.
But she does Pulver photography. Her and her husband have a great photography
brother.
service.
Her and her brother. Let's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
It's okay. I got it. Brian and Laura. Yeah, follow them at Pulver Photography. I'm sure at some point we're gonna put those nice shirts that they have. We'll put them up for sale somewhere, so they can get a little bit of extra coin. But yeah, Pulver Photography, easily the best photographers for professional wrestling events.
Yes, but yeah, give them a follow. They always do. They do every MPX show, but they do pretty much North Texas. So
yeah,
please give them a follow. And look, they're brother. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm sorry. It was a slip.
You'll never hear the end of it, and I won't stop teasing him about it this weekend. So, yeah,
You guys are married now. My bad. My bad. But yes, please. He said Lannisters. That's awesome. I understood that reference. But yeah, just give them a follow. They're absolutely great. They always drop pictures very close to shows and around shows, and they're really speedy. So please give them a follow, give them your time, because they are phenomenal at what they do. So
yes, indeed.
Yep. All right, Matt. Anything else, man?
No, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. I'm grateful to come on here and talk wrestling. I'm glad we got to get all of that off of our chests because there's so much to break down. And so, glad for it. So looking forward to next week when we see all the fallout from it all.
Absolutely. And shout out to Brick, who's also in the chat. Congratulations, Brick, on your title win.
Yes, Brick.
Nice to see it.
It was a pleasure to announce you as God's one-man measuring stick.
Absolutely, man. But thank you guys for tuning in for this week's MPX wrap-up, recap, look ahead. This was awesome, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Till then, you guys be safe. Take care of each other. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Peace.
Yes.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.